All right, guys, welcome here to day 2 of the June Road to BlizzCon North America Open. I am Solid, joined by Chris HuK Loringer. What's up, man?
Not much. I actually casting so much yesterday. I actually dreamed of casting, which isn't too unusual. Whenever I'd play, super long hours throughout the day, I would always dream about playing. So, kind of makes sense, and had a lot of fun. Looking forward to today.
So, what were your casts like? Were you casting some sick Lily action? Like, tell me
I
about your
think it was
dream.
a lot of Brightwing for some reason. I mean, you know how you forget your dreams unless you kind of write them down or you tell someone explicitly right after you wake up.
Right.
But the one redeeming factor is I do remember a lot of Brightwing. It was a wild night of just waking up and being like, why am I dreaming about this? And then going back to sleep and then rinse and repeat.
All right, guys. Well, dreaming about Brightwing, that is a good night, but we had a great set of games yesterday. We'll update you on the bracket soon, but before we do that, let's take a look at the prizing that is available. There's 15 grand up for grabs just for this one event, HuK.
Yeah, and as you have pointed out in the past day, that's going to continue to grow as we get closer to the road to BlizzCon. Of course, the top 8 teams making out of yesterday and today combined will be playing in a week from now in studio broadcasts, and they'll have that opportunity to get that much closer to BlizzCon. The top team out of those 8 from next week will take another step down that road.
Yeah, that is absolutely correct. And I do, in fact, have the bracket that we can look at very quickly here. We can see that yesterday, Cloud9, Maelstrom, and Zevran will be advancing to the round of 8, which will happen next week. And in the other semifinals, we have Complexity and Cloud9 Vortex also going to that round of 8. So they are done this weekend, but today we start on the other end of the bracket where teams like Tempo Storm, The Plays, 2Arc Gaming, Evil Geniuses, they are all here trying to qualify in many, many more. 90 teams in total in this bracket, and I can't wait to see these games unfold.
Me as well. I think particularly we're going to try to follow Evil Geniuses for the most part of today. Of course, if they get knocked out, we may just follow the team that knocked them out, but
Yep.
we'll try to keep it as action-packed as yesterday. We were lucky enough to constantly have a steady flow of games yesterday, and we're hoping to have that again today.
All right, well, it looks like the draft is actually about to begin. I just got a link. The first map is going to be Haunted Mines, and they're just hopping right on in. This is what I like to see.
Yeah, I mean, not Haunted Minds, but being efficient about the draft, yeah, sure. I'm all for that.
All right, well, we are talking to the teams, and I'm just giving them the good luck, have fun, making sure they know that they are ready to go with this draft. And we do see they're dipping into that bonus pool for the first ban. Boogie Knights versus Chaotic Steel are the two teams.
What names? What names?
Who are you rooting for here? The Boogie Knights?
Yeah, I guess. There's a lot of bees, the bowberries, the boogie nights. I like bees. Seeing some
These
normal bands, KT, Sylvanas. I mean, already from just those 2 bands, it seems like the teams know what they're doing.
Yeah, some pretty intelligent, just well-educated bands. Sylvanas is very unlikely to make it through the draft on Haunted Mines, but this does leave the Lost Vikings up for grabs, and they're a very powerful hero if you're confident here on Haunted Mines.
Yeah, having the ability to always drop down one of the Vikings in the haunted mines and then having the other 2 soak while your whole team is fighting in those mines is a great, great attribute of playing that hero on this map. But looks like they're going to first pick a Nubrak, which is also a very strong pick, just getting a lot of stun, a lot of lockdown ability, and just a very strong warrior, very tanky, and has a good escape within that same ability that will stun up and lock down those heroes.
Yeah, like you said, very powerful, like considered one of the top 2 warriors out there. And on the other side, that's going to be first 2 picks going for Chaotic Steel. Now, again, Vikings still on the table, but they're going to go for a big warrior. They see a Nubrak scooped up. They're like, we can't let him slip through the draft. They pick up a huge damage dealer, Jaina and Muradin.
Yeah, we're seeing Jaina picked a lot early on in these drafts. I mean, it's usually like Jaina Sylvanas, Jaina KT. KT and Savadas being banned here, it kind of makes sense. Jaina's going to be picked up pretty early in these drafts. Anubarak, we haven't seen him first pick too often, but we do see Muradin or Anubarak usually picked up second, third, or even fourth pick. So maybe they just want to make sure, maybe they have a particular player that's very strong on that hero. Not really sure. I'm not completely used to these players. but I do see them playing on the ladder, and they are all very, very skilled. And we're seeing a normal Brightwing picking up a good support, probably the strongest support, wouldn't you say so?
It's tough between Brightwing and Uther. Personally, would say Brightwing is yes, but a lot of people would argue that Uther has that potential with just Divine Shield, Divine Storm, and of course, Redemption at level 20 is a very powerful talent.
I would completely agree. Um, and then we're gonna have to see what support Chaotic Steel is gonna go for here. I mean, they could get the Uther banned out or possibly picked, but we're gonna see Zagara picked up. We've been seeing a lot of Zagara even in yesterday's drafts,
Yeah, it's
and
very interesting, but the cool thing about Zagara on this map is you can get the creep tumors put down around the entrance to the mines and have complete vision as to where the enemy team is going and where they happen to decide to enter the mines.
yeah, it makes a lot of sense, and it just adds so much vision, and it's just a pain altogether to have to constantly clean
Oh
up
yeah.
that creep. And we see the Kerrigan ban, uh, another hero we're seeing more and more often lately. We haven't seen Zeratul or Illidan come into play in this particular draft yet, but I'm sure we'll see them throughout the day. As of right now, could be a strong Uther ban right here, just to limit the options of Chaotic Steel.
I think that would be a really smart thing to do, especially considering the other supports that do exist left in this roster. Uther very strong on this map, but if they don't ban out Tassadar, I think Tassadar is a guaranteed pickup for Chaotic Steel because that will really help them mitigate the creep tumors across the map, and he's just such a safe pick.
Yeah, he's a great counter to Zagara, adding a lot of vision and just making it easy to burn through those creep tumors instead of having to, burn AoE spells and a lot of more. Wow, and they actually ban out Tazadar. So I guess they're like, you know what? We'll give you Uther or we'll give you Tazadar, and they choose. All right, you know what? Wow, Nazebo pick coming down. I mean, we did see that once yesterday, but it was more of a finesse pick, I would say, in a kind way.
Hmm.
Um, Not necessarily a needed thing. And now maybe saving that last pick for Uther.
It's definitely within the cards to save that last pick for Uther, because they didn't really have to prioritize a healer, right? Rhaegar worked out quite well. But you know what? If there's a map where I'm okay with seeing Nazebo, it's here in Haunted Mines. Nazebo does have Promote, very powerful talent to help you push those lanes out. And on top of that, Nazebo just has so much control with that zombie wall. If you can get this set up and throw the zombies down as they're entering the mines, it can be devastating.
Yeah, I would have to agree. And Illidan coming into play here, just a strong assassin melee hero. Overall, a great hero if he can be supported well. But at the same time, if his team's not wow, Nova.
Yeah, that's the thing. And as of right now, it's a great pickup. Now, Haunted Mines is very aggressive across the map. They're going to vision everywhere between, if they go for Scouting Drones and Brightwing. I wouldn't be too surprised if we saw Arcane Precision. But Nova versus Jaina and Nazebo, they really, really don't like to fight her.
Yeah, just having not a great escape in Jaina is going to be a problem, as well as Nazebo. I mean, they do eventually can get sprint, but against a Nova, especially if they're going very high damage builds, just going to be able to blow them up, 0 to 100 very, very, very quickly. So it's going to be up to Chaotic Steel to kind of watch out for that shimmer, as we were talking about yesterday,
Hmm.
and make sure that they're on their toes. And it should be easy if they're talking to each other to say, you know what, Nova's missing from the top lane, or she's missing from the bottom lane, or I saw her, here or there. Just keeping track and making sure at all times that Jaina and Nazebo are protected. Even Falstad could possibly get blown up by Nova very quickly.
Yeah, Falstad does have the dash to get away, so he's a little bit less of at risk, but definitely doesn't have a very large health pool. And if he is not careful, if he goes aggressively at all with his E, he's gonna pay for it if Nova's in the area. And all right, well, that is going to be the draft. Um,
See if we get this lobby
yeah,
set up for you guys immediately, so we can get into the games. Got a lot of cast and go for today. I think yesterday we went for 9 hours.
yeah,
What was it? I
nine,
can't
nine
remember.
and a half.
9.5 hours. So looking forward to a great action-packed day as well. Went really well yesterday, and I'm hoping. I mean, obviously, I'm going to be cheering for my boys, Evil Geniuses. But as we talked about the bracket earlier, got a lot of strong teams. Most of the top NA talent have been playing
Yeah.
yesterday, or they are scheduled to play today.
Like, I think Temple Storm is probably the favorite in the entire event, and they are, in fact, on this side of the bracket. But like you said, Evil Geniuses, that's Idra, Suppy, Xenocider, Miwa, and Zero. Cal Berkeley / EG StarCraft Pros. Pretty cool team.
Yeah, I've been in their group chat for a while now. They're working through some kinks, but all in all, there's enough talent there that they have a very good shot at making it out today. Their bracket's not super hard. Of course, they were matched up against Tempo or 2Arc. Then it would be more of a question. They are playing against some pretty high ELO players, MMR players, but they have a good shot.
Yeah, all right. They want me to make the lobby. I'm just asking them, and I'll be happy to make it. So we're gonna get that lobby built here, and I will shoot out some invites. HuK, if you would like to join on me, we can do that and get things going
Of
rather
course.
quickly.
I'll be right back 1 second.
Sure, not a problem. All right, guys. Well, the first series of the day. That would be the sound of HuK's window closing. Production things, just going to throw in the screen very quickly to confirm something via Skype.
I'm back.
And okay. So we do have the Boogie Boys in here.
Boogie Boys.
HuK, you said you're rooting for Boogie. You sticking to it?
I mean, they're here first, so I have to, I guess. They're more efficient, more professional thus far. But are you super familiar with either side of these teams?
No, I'm not.
Oh, splendid.
I'll just
And then,
confirm that this is...
What are we going to be casting after this match?
I will have to confirm. It's been a chaotic morning, I'll be honest. Taking it one game at a time. So, let me find the other team. I have messaged them. All right. Just doing some lobby creation. It's always tough when this is the first tournament for these players. They're not really used to this whole process, so it takes a little bit longer. Generally, trying to get this sorted the fastest we can, guys. Thanks for being patient. This guy has it set up, so I can't invite him for some reason. Some of the settings...
Not going so well. It's to be expected, to be honest, this early on. A lot of these teams just aren't used to playing in tournaments such as this, and maybe they haven't even done custom games. So a little sloppy, but we're going to try to make it as smooth as possible. And as we continue through the bracket, of course, as we saw yesterday, it's going to get more and more efficient because the teams that are still in the tournament usually have been around the block a few times, to say the least.
Yes, all right, we got him in here. He relogged. It seemed to have fixed it. He's inviting his team. That means our first game in Haunted Mines will be starting very soon.
And just wanting to get into the game, I mean, one team's already ready. They're very eager just to play. I think that's one of the biggest factors. As a pro player myself, you just want to kind of get into it because you're going to be very nervous, very anxious. And once you're in the game, a lot of those emotions just kind of fall to the wind and you just want to, start playing.
I hear that. Because, again, it's early. They've had their coffee. They've been sitting about there, strategizing all day with their team. The drafts are complete. If you're just tuning in, we can look at the draft again once more very quickly. Muradin, Jaina, Nazebo, Falset, Uther versus Nova, Illidan, Zagara, Brightwing, and Anub Arak. All across the alphabet here.
Yeah. Five players out of the lobby have already rated up. We're waiting for the last 5. The draft, all in all, was pretty good. I mean, some more interesting flavors in that Nova, in that Nazebo.
Is that your favorite flavor? Nova flavored?
It's not bad. I don't know if it'd be my favorite. I think Lost Vikings is my favorite flavor, but Nova is
because you're a man of diverse taste. You like the Olaf, the Balog, and the Eric.
Yeah, I'm a 3-guy kind of guy.
All right, well, I gave him the good luck, have fun. All 10 players have readied up, and game number 1 is readying up. Huxical. We saw some extraordinary games yesterday. We saw heroes from Arthas to Lily to Stitches.
To that Lily first pick, yeah. Complexity really showing at the end of the day that they deserve to make it into the top 8. And we're going to see that hopefully from Tempo as well as 2Arc in the bracket. That will be a very exciting match, but as I said before, Evil Geniuses being, the team I was even going to play with up until less than a week ago when I heard that I had the honor to cast with you, and I'm very excited to see what they're going to bring to the table. They have a lot of potential, but as a team, as a team game, Heroes, it's all about working together, collaborating, and it'll be interesting to see if they can do that when the time arises.
We're going to find out very quick. On the blue side, it is the Boogie Knights. And on the red side, that's going to be Chaotic Steel. This is the round of 128 in the June North America Open. And it is a single elim at this point in the bracket.
Yeah, and as we spoke about earlier, a week from now, of course, the top 8 teams that make it out will be playing in a double elim bracket. But there will only be 8 teams there, not as many as 128. Of course, with that extra life, you're going to be able to take a little bit more risk. So far today, though, most teams are going to be looking to play their game very conservative, very safe, and just try to make it out of this weekend.
And that's probably the best approach you can take right now, like you said, conservative, safe. It's a best of 3, so it is easy to lose a single map, but if you are the better team in a best of 3, you should be able to edge it out over your opponent. And Nova could be that crazy factor in this matchup. If they're not prepared for the crazy rotations out of Nova, they could really fall behind quickly on Haunted Mines.
Of course, Haunted Mines is such a very snowball capable map. You get 100 Golem, that's going to usually turn into a pretty big advantage. So both teams not looking to make any really risky plays, and I think they're both going to try to limit mistakes. Zagara in the bottom lane is a very strong laner, going to be looking to set up 4-1 for both teams. On the top lane, we have 2 players, Falstad and Uther, and in the bottom lane, we have Nazebo, Muradin, and Jaina.
Yeah, and with this trio, they're really going to be able to put on a fair amount of aggression, but Zagara probably one of the best solo laners in the game. But it's going to be quite tough. We do have Nova rotating down, but Muradin in a great positioning, being able to keep her back for the time being.
Yeah, this Hydralisk ability is so strong just because it ignores everything else and targets whatever hero or building or creep that you select on. And as you can see, Muradin already chunked down to about half HP. Nova in the back line here trying to bait out a zombie wall, gets one for just hallucination, and they're just trying to burn through spells and see if they can poke, get damage, and drop heroes within the range of taking them down.
Yeah, not a bad start. Both teams very even. Not really a whole lot of structural damage has been done in either of the lanes, but the rotation from Nova onto Chrom, dishing out a lot of damage right before the spawn of these mines, going to force them to tap that well to make sure they are at full health and mana for this battle.
Yeah, that's a very important factor that comes into play. Everything revolves around the mines, and Falstad actually getting chunked down a little bit. Nova just rotating, doing a lot of damage in both lanes, and that means that the blue side is going to have a lot of control over these mines. They get in first, and the red team on the other side came in the south. It's going to be very interesting.
They're splitting up, though, and this is smart. They're collecting quite a few, but right now we do see Jaina is quite low. Nubarak with the forward aggression, but the zombie wall is completely peeling right now, and Zagara does have to leave.
Yeah, that Hydralisk just chunking down Jaina. It's going to get her, actually.
Ooh, wow.
Jaina not exiting just quite fast enough. Falstad flying in immediately, but now he's stuck in a 4v1 situation. Luckily gets out of there in time, and blue team grabbing control of those mines.
And these creep tumors we mentioned, just going to give them complete and total vision of them attempting to enter the mines. Right now, it looks like the red team is going to rotate to the top portion of that top entrance just because they know it is not safe to go down below. They will be regrouped for this, but we already see 46 skulls have been collected for the Boogie Knights.
Yeah, the Boogie Knights really using their tempo well. Illidan getting in here and getting blown up, overextending a little bit, and they're 5-man strong now against 4. They're both level 4. They could actually take a pretty good engagement here. Nova picking off the Nazebo immediately, and this Falstad's getting pretty lit up too from Zagara. Barrel rolls towards Nova. Nova going down. Jaina's very low as well. This is a really scrappy fight to take us off.
I don't know if he has fly available. He's going to try to Hearth. His fly is off cooldown. Not sure why he didn't opt to just try to fly to the other side of the mines, but he is dashing forward. He might escape, but no, not quite.
Such a good troop to begin with, though. Nubarak missing, and Falstad jumping through Zagara, but can't escape everything.
No, well, level 4 has been reached. We can take a look at the talents once more. Double Envenom by Jaina and Nazebo. It's a lot of burst potential. 58 to 12 in terms of mines. Only the boss remains down here. But Jaina in the backline will be blown up by Nova. And we see Illidan flipping ahead. That first Envenom does go down. He is rather low right now.
Yeah, Boogie Knights just having so much damage, and they're targeting their their priority squishies so well. This Nova just constantly unloading on every hero, and Illidan distracting a lot. He might actually get blown up here, but he pulls just away in time, and Uther being the only one that escapes with his life. And
oh
wow.
no! Crom just
Nova?
barely missing, almost had that takedown onto Uther. Would have been beautiful, but still, it is 6-2 in favor of the Boogie Knights. And they're working on this Golem. They're going to have a massive, massive advantage for this first summon.
Yeah, this is going to be such a big problem for Chaotic Steel. Already falling behind, not only in kills, but more importantly, this Golem just going to add a lot of options, a lot of pushing capability because it will be so big. They only have 12 skulls. Wow, this is going to be really rough. They are getting the consolation prize of stealing these knights in the middle, but I don't know if that's really going to be worth it compared to an 88 skull Golem.
It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough to defend, but they are working on these Giants. These Giants will help defend if they time them out accordingly. If you do stall the Giants just a little while, no, it doesn't look like they're going to do that. They want the aggression sooner than later. The blue side also going to work on their Giants.
And I feel like the Giant timing on the blue side, even if they cap it immediately, will be slightly better. Of course, as you get higher up in skill, you're going to see them delay this capture as they're doing right now. What you want to try to do is get them behind your wall, targeting down the enemy's Golem, and from safety, though. If you have them pushed in the lane, they're of course going to get killed, and they're not going to do as much damage. So
right as the Golem passes this line, that's when you want to capture them. You'll see Nova, they're going to wait for a little bit later. As soon as he passes through the gate, Nova will capture, and like you mentioned, those Golems will be effectively like 2 additional towers defending that 12-skull Golem.
Yeah, but they don't run out of ammo, and they're going to take a lot less damage than the 2 gates. But that being said, what is their name again? Bow Knights?
The Boogie Knights.
Boogie Knights. The Boogie Knights are going to be pushing through here. Their Golem's going to land a root, stunning up at least the gate and all the creeps.
But Illidan is a little bit too aggressive, gets stuck behind enemy territory, and it is blown up nicely. That bottom Golem has dissipated. The Giants have done their job and defended that wall entirely, and this big guy, Mr. Jeff in Control Robinson, is still marching in.
Yeah, and doing so much damage. This is the power of having a bigger Golem, and on top of that, just having your siege creeps attacking the enemy's Golem in the bottom side. The root going down. As soon as that root hits and Anubarak can follow up, that's almost a guaranteed kill. And it looks like Murden might go down. Should be safe though.
Wow.
Barely be making it behind the gate. But they're still going to pick up a fort from this, which is very, very nice this early in the game. Only 7 minutes in, and they're already going to pick up this fort.
Yeah, we're talking a 2-level lead, and we do have a Golem that didn't make it through a single structure versus a Golem that is already at their back keep and still alive. Going to do a fair amount of damage, and there is no mule for either team in this game.
Yeah, so they're going for broke both sides, but I don't know. The blue side just being a lot more healthy, a lot more economical with their choices so far. And on top of that, they're already rotating down to their siege golems, and they're going to be able to pick up a lot of damage at least. If they can protect those golems in the back, use them as safety, and just keep them alive, they're going to do a lot of damage to this fort.
Yeah, and they're doing their best to do that with the heroics. It's going to be quite easy for them to continue this aggression if they so please. But no, they're opting to play safe, say, you know what, Giants, you've done enough. You can go home for the day, and they'll do just that as they go back to their home in the ground.
Yeah, Murden throwing down a little healer stun, but they're going to commit here. They want to use their heroics. Nova not hitting anything, but Illidan's deep, deep, deep in the back and blowing up this Falstad. Gets to pick him off. Murden's getting low as well.
Wow.
Uther already dead.
That is a 3-0. Now Jaina is alone in the top lane soaking that, which is a small victory for Chaotic Steel, but losing all those heroes, that's going to lose them yet another fort. And I gotta say, I'm really impressed with the coordination out of the Boogie Knights right now, HuK.
Yeah, Boogie Knights getting down, man. 70 style.
Getting down.
Yeah, they're doing so good. I'm glad I picked them. They've been doing us proud so far, and it's up to Chaotic Steel to kind of pull it together and stop taking these bad engagements. I mean, they knew they were 2 levels down, they knew they had their heroics, and they were not safe behind that fort, at least not undermanned while Jaina is on top. They should have played a little bit more conservative positionally. All in all, though, the mines are going to come up. One good team fight, and all of a sudden you can be back in this game. You can get your own huge golem, 80 to 90 skull. Jaina in a lot of trouble by this Nova. Should make it out. No! Just by a hair.
Just clipped, yeah, at the very end. Nicely done by Nova. Realizing that would be enough and just backing away. Very confident Nova play, I have to say.
Yeah, and really good job of using that heroic ability. Kind of trapping, you know. You can't walk towards the Nova. You got to walk away, but at the same time, you know, that heroic ability just barely scraping Jaina's feet. And now we're back into the mines, and it's all about the skulls. The Knights gonna be looking to contest this. Chaotic Steel needs to pull something out of the hat here because they're already behind 31 skulls. They have most of their team here.
Yeah,
but can they take a favorable engage? They're not even level 10 yet.
That is so very difficult without the heroics to have to fight over the mines, like you mentioned. Already 486 picked up on the side of the Boogie Knights, and Jaina is the focus point once more. Illidan going in. The stun from Anubarak should be able to secure that takedown, and Zagara flanking onto Nazeebo. Whoa, Big Maw will connect with two of them, and they're going to completely surround with that Locust Swarm, and there is a Precision Strike, eliminating 3 members on the side of Chaotic Steel.
Yeah, the Knights just playing really well. Illidan not being afraid, knowing that they have that 2-level advantage and they wouldn't have their heroic abilities yet. Not afraid, just to initiate, and then his team doing a beautiful job of following up. Really crisp plays so far today from them.
They're just clean and consistent, and they know what they want, and they take it. Right now, they're collecting all of those skulls, 84 in total. If they get the last one, yes, I'm proud of them. They do it successfully. And Illidan is currently looking around the map, making sure that he's denying any kind of presence they have. If they go for these bruisers, he's going to be well aware of that.
Yeah, the previous skull, at least I got the consolation prize of getting those Knights in the middle, getting those bruisers. But this time, Golem's not 4 skulls less. Instead of 88, it's 84. But on top of that, they don't have these bruisers pushing anymore, and the Golem's going to be that much closer to these keeps, that much closer to doing more structural damage, and they're going to cap their siege Golems perfectly again, and they're going to be able to defend this bottom Golem that's much smaller, much weaker, and is going to be taken down by these siege Golems a lot quicker.
Yeah, alright, well, if I wasn't muted, that'd be sweet. But yes, the HuK Golem, not going to be able to do much with these giants helping out, but the in-control Golem, he's in control of the top lane right now.
Yeah, and should be able to take down this gate. I mean, I feel like the Knights should have been here a little bit quicker. The Boogie Knights.
Yeah, the Precision Strike is going to hit 4 members. Their Divine Storm goes out. Little bit, not enough. Too little, too late, if you will. And we do see Illidan in the back lane just tearing through them, HuK.
Yeah, Illidan very unafraid. And Nubarak falling off. Zagara as well, getting deep in there. Nazeebo very low. Murden gets mauled out. He could be picked up here. He has a sliver of health left.
Oh my
Just as he was jumping, Falstad didn't really hit too much with that heroic ability, but it's too little too late. As you said, from this point, they're just so far behind, and Jeffrey is going to be smashing on that shrine soon enough.
Jeffrey the Golem is angry, and he is in his gym right now, but the hours are over, so he will go home for the night. And we do see that the rotation is happening over to those bruisers. Complete map control, a 3-level advantage for the Boogie Knights. They're boogieing.
They're getting down, man. Disco Fever style. And they're so hard in this game. So ready. Those Siege Golems paying off so well to defend the Golem both times in the Southern Hemisphere. And I just got to give it to them. They seem like they know what they're doing. I'm wondering if this was their map pick or they're just lucky to be playing on it because they know exactly what to do on Haunted Mines.
It seems that way, and yeah, I'm convinced. I am really convinced by this level of play we are seeing right here. The bottom lane about to be sieged up heavily. A pair of giants, a pack of bruisers, marching down with more than a single wave of minions.
And it looks like they're setting up for a flank. They're going to be spotted out a little bit here. Nubrak immediately initiating in, and already Jaina getting blown up. A little bit caught out of position. Falstad as well. And Murden's just running for the hills. Nazeebo as well. Losing 2 of your key damage dealers, maybe losing this, losing the Uther as well. This is just, it might be all over soon here if they commit to a push. It's risky, but they can with 5 members strong, and this Nazeebo going down as well. Murden being the only one still alive, but he just doesn't have the damage to combat almost anybody on the Boogie Knights team.
Yeah, this level of confidence is actually rather impressive. They're not afraid to just dive past that keep. The Water Elemental will just push them back a fair bit, but the mine spawning in 25 seconds, they're going to say, you know what, let's hire Jeffrey again, and we'll be safe if we do that.
Yeah, they're going for the more conservative play, but it is the smart play. As we said, going into this long day, they have a lot of matches ahead of them. They just want to secure a victory and make sure that they're moving on to the next round, and that's what they're worried about. This is what you should do as professionals, as playing in a tournament as big as this. Everybody just wants to make it until the next weekend. And they're trying to do that as securely as possible. There's no reason to really take a risk at this point and maybe throw the game.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. While we have a little bit of time as the skulls start to be collected, we can talk about the talents very quickly. We haven't really touched them at all this game, but I've been going for a very interesting build, the Shield Dust and then the Anti-Magic Powder. This helps defend against some of the burst damage of Jaina and Falstad. Still very uncommon to see Promote given up, and that level 1 talent as well, but we do see Jaina and Falstad, the 2 damage dealers, removed as soon as they try to enter the mines, and this is not the way you want to start the mines as Chaotic Steel.
Yeah, their core already being pushed as well. Creeps lining up, and they're busily just trying not to die in the mines. They're getting members picked off. Jaina and Falstad constantly being in the front line, dying immediately, and then Uther, Muradin, Gazebo following up and dying as well at the end. And a 62 skulls to 8. And that's the least of their problems right now. That's a future team's problem. As of right now, their core is still under attack. Illidan's still in their face, distracting them as his 4-member team cleans up the Haunted Mines.
Yeah, Jeffrey is going to be here and ready to party. The shields are still up on the side of Chaotic Steel, but those lanes are pushed out just now, cleaning up this last pack of giants. Catapults have made their way, but Jeffrey is awakening.
And the biggest Jeffrey we've seen yet today, 92 to 8. And on the other side, on Chaotic Steel's, their column hasn't even made it past the first fort, not even including the second gate and that's the keep. So they're going to be way far behind here, and they're going to have to do their best to hold on and kill this big Jeffrey, but it's going to be a hard task to manage, especially when the other team is up 4 levels and they're going to be knocking on your door.
Yeah, it's going to be rough. It's quite the lead they have, but they're playing so conservatively, making sure they have the giants here to help defend the little HuK Golem. Jeffrey Golem still has about 80% of his health.
Yeah, they've already had to burn so much on him. Nazebo halfway through his ult, and it's going to die pretty soon. Illidan just immediately initiates following up. Anubrak setting them in place. Yeah, just so much damage from them. It does look like Illidan's going to be chunked down a little bit, but they could just target the core at this point. They're not really in any danger, and Jeffrey's always there bashing, constantly taking damage, and little HuK is going to die with his team. Poor Chaotic Steel, going to lose this first game. Let's see if they can bring it back in the second one, though.
Jeffrey, he's the MVP, man. Little HuK, he tried.
He tried his best, but with those siege golems, man, constantly beating him down, didn't have many options, to say the least.
So, HuK, if you walk out your door today, would you be bombarded by siege golems?
I hope not.
How would you
I'm not
respond?
going to leave today, I guess. I'll just stay in the safety.
Good plan.
Yes. For now.
Well, a convincing game, won 27-3 in terms of the takedowns in favor of the boys, the Boogie Knights. But Chaotic Steel, they can bring it back.
Yeah, I feel like one of the biggest reasons I don't particularly like Haunted Mines is because as soon as you lose that first big golem fight, you're always going to run into problems. I feel like the map's very linear. So maybe a new map, Chaotic Steels can show what they're made of a little bit more. I feel like their damage dealers and Falstad and Jaina have to stay a little bit more behind and let the warriors, the initiators, the Muradins and the Uthers kind of get in the face. That way they can just unload and not really have to spend so much time dead or retreating.
Yeah, I think you're right there. But we're going to find out very soon. We're going to talk to the teams to get this next draft rolling very quickly. We could try to... I think they were pretty proactive about doing this, so we probably don't have to go to commercial. I think we can just get it set up.
Sounds good to me. Especially since it's their second time around, they should be able to do it.
Yeah. Once you've done it once, it only becomes easier from there. But man, HuK, I just have to talk about heroes in general for a brief moment because there seem to be tournaments constantly. We've got the Road to BlizzCon happening. DreamHack is going on right now. I was watching that all morning long. There's just events on top of events on top of events. I think the grand finals are actually live with Team Liquid, so that's pretty hype.
Yeah, it's very exciting times in general. I mean, those are some high-quality European teams. I think Team Liquid, once again, unexpectedly, is going to be playing in the final.
Yeah, unexpectedly for sure.
Yeah, they're cream of the crop right now, and for sure, a lot of good games going on. I mean, I'm personally excited to see who makes it out today from North America.
Yes.
See, Tempo, hopefully be that rival to Team Liquid, and things can change though. You never know. BlizzCon's a pretty far time away, and things are constantly changing. You see teams that rise and fall, and then you have certain teams like possibly Team Liquid that are going to permanently be at the top, and maybe somebody like Tempo, like 2R, even C9. Also, being that rival and being a long-standing dynasty of a team that is, taking form now in Heroes, but we will see. You never know what can happen, especially in team games like Heroes.
All right. They're asking questions, which means we're going to go to commercial break to get this resolved because they are unsure as to how we proceed. So we need to confirm with the admin just to make sure we are not incorrect. So guys, we'll be back in just a few minutes. Stay with us and be sure to tweet at us at SolidJake, Blizz Heroes, and of course HuK.
We see the sunrise in front of us as our life unfolds and stories told. We stand alone. Shadows awake the innocent, counting down what carries us to the end.
Favorite hero for me to play really has enough to activate that blocker, that get in now, the less you have to worry about later, because every time you do die, you do drop coins, and you never want those coins falling into the enemy hands.
That's a great thing to point out, because like you mentioned, on this map, if you drop your coins, they can be stolen by the enemy team. But we do have Illidan rotating here with Zagara, trying to pick off Azmodan. Not going to be successful in doing so, but they do force him back, and this will remove him from this lane, stopping him from being able to use that level 1 talent at all. He has not removed any ammo from these structures.
Yeah, it's not such a huge deal, but obviously the more damage you can do, the more ammo you can sink out early on, the better it will be later. It just gives you a lot of options. A little flank being set up here from the red side. Hard to gank, though, in this middle lane, especially when the lane's already pushed. They have no reason to be that far out. And, Diablo, 70% health. He's not really in any danger, though. Nova looks like she's going to, on the other hand, be rotating down soon enough, maybe trying to set up that flank or that gank on Zagara. Osmodon should let the lane breathe a little bit. Just let Zagara push so Nova can set up that kill. The further she is in that lane, the more likely they're going to be able to set it up. She misses her opening shot, doesn't get that snipe, but it's going to pull back and not really going to take any losses. Of course, that Hydra coming out, zoning out the Osmodon, and now Illidan jumping on Nova. Nova's going to be in a lot of trouble here. She really doesn't have escape options. She jukes a little bit, but too much damage coming out of this Illidan and Zagara combo.
And I gotta give Illidan a lot of props. He saw the Shimmer and he went forward with that damage, just disrupting her with the AoE that he has. Very good hero at finding those cloaked enemies and revealing them to blow them up.
Yeah, having that ability helps so much, especially if you're good at just seeing that Shimmer, as you said. He's going to have a good opportunity to clean out this Osmodon too, at least push him back so he doesn't do so much damage to this gate. And as soon as he pushes him back, he comes back and just soaks XP, does as much damage as he can. So far, Illidan has been a very big playmaker for that side.
I gotta give Winter Baka a lot of credit. Baka, of course, does mean idiot in Japanese, but he doesn't seem that way at all.
Yeah, but it could be kind of an endearing, cute term as well.
True.
Baka. I'm not gonna do like a Japanese accent, especially after the failed Russian one. With
Hey
the
man,
Battle
your
yesterday.
accents are excellent. You make Zoya look like an amateur.
Thanks, I guess. But level-wise, very close. Illidan actually going to go down here. I think it was a little bit of a misplay. There wasn't much happening. We see no other heroes in the area, so it was a one-on-one duel, and Illidan went down to Zagara. And look,
well, he traded out Asmondan, so it was a trade.
So it was a trade.
But he did lose 3 coins.
Yeah, so coming out ahead, well, they reclaimed those coins. Not such a big deal. And Zagara being able to still be there and soak. Probably coming out a little bit ahead for the Boogie Knights, and we can see that in the small XP lead. But Diablo's going to get into the thick of it here. He's going to take a lot of damage and get stunned up, actually, by a Nubarak. His team didn't quite follow up as much as they could have with the possibility of going down, but they're going to fall back and clean up this chest. Get all those coins, and now they do have enough to deposit many options. Zagara could deposit, Illidan can deposit. If they can get that, then we will start seeing Pirates Bay getting lit up by this pirate ship.
Yeah, it's going to happen very soon, but 3 coins going in on the side for Captain Blood, turning them into Captain Blackheart. Top portion of the map is just Gem Collection, or Coin Collection, 2015. And we do see just a lot of presence here in the top lane, allowing Asmodon to get that free reign down bottom.
Yeah, he's going to be doing a lot of damage with these summons. He just has so much push potential. I mean, maybe second to Sylvanas. Sylvanas obviously being the queen of push. And they're just collecting a lot of coins. They need to try to focus on a turn, and Zagara is doing that right now, and it looks like she should get it.
Yeah, she will be uncontested in that tournament, so that will be the first siege of the day. We do see the rotation coming on a little bit too late out of Jaina and Diablo. Not going to be quite enough damage to remove this fort, but it's going to be very close.
Yeah, very close indeed. They could push with it anyways and try to pick it down. In general, Zagara just being so handy on this map, because she has those creep tumors, she can detect vision from the enemy team, protect that pirate deposit, or even around the chest. And the bottom lane, we see creep tumors as well, just increasing vision, increasing speed, and increasing damage.
Yeah, Asmodon has done a nice job pushing this out. He's kind of hung out down here this entire time, but they did, in fact, remove the keep. A little bit of additional aggression was going to be enough for that, so nicely done. One shot going into the top lane. Wow, that hurt a lot.
It down. Yeah, doing a lot of damage. They can't push it. I mean, it's so low. There's no ammunition, and this gate is pretty low. And they have a lot of creeps here with those beetles, with the Vala's damage, and Malfurion there just to support. Jaina does have pretty good clear, but she's already almost out of ammo. Or mana, I should say.
Imagine if ammo was a mechanic in this game for heroes?
Oh, that'd be so tough. Like, Nova, you get like 3 shots, and then you gotta like go back or something.
All right, I'm starting to theorycraft a little bit too hard here. We're gonna revisit this on Town Hall, guys. Make sure I have to talk about ammunition as a mechanic. I like that idea. Crom has 5 coins. They need a total of 8, but the creep tumor is revealing where he is, phase shifting to safety onto his ally.
Yeah, getting checked down halfway, but a good escape nonetheless. They're going to be looking for engage, but it's heroics versus non-heroics. They're almost level 10. Illidan getting in the thick of it, immediately getting in. That strafe being popped, not hitting too much. Beetles going down. Nubarak trying to chase, shouldn't be able to get him. That was actually a lot of wasted heroics, and it looks like they didn't even get a kill, and now it's 10 versus 10.
Right.
If they could heal up in turn, they would have a pretty good fight here.
It's true, but they have enough coins to turn in, and this will remove yet another fort, so that's a pretty big deal. They spent 3 heroics, and they can just fall back and disengage because this is not the time in which they want to fight. They would be fighting against the 5 heroics of the Chaotic Steel team.
Yeah, Chaotic Steel doing better this game, but still a little bit behind. They need to pick their engagements more choicely and make sure that they're still pushing objectives, pushing soaking, and trying to get mercenary camps. They're just a little bit less organized compared to these Boogie Knights. And as you can see, Boogie Knights doing exactly that, already picking up their Bruiser camp. But Chaotic Knights doing that as well on the opposite side of the map, just not doing it as efficiently.
Yeah, well, they're going to be able to get those bruisers that'll help them defend that top lane. The problem being is the fort has already been removed. Few catapults going down to the bottom, actually rather exposed. Asmodee does have the lane pushed out, but Zagara is going to try to get the advantage and march these giants down.
Yeah, Asmodee gonna blow up these siege camps, hopefully quickly, but being zoned by this Hydra being such a strong ability just because it auto-targets on whatever you select it. And Asmodee taking a lot of HP damage already.
Yeah, he's going for Burn the Weak. This is additional damage to the structures. This makes him actually ridiculous at pushing. He will get March of Sin at level 13. That allows him to use his E and walk around with a reduced movement speed with it. It's going to make him a bit more scary, but primarily for siege, not so much for battle. And they're never letting him do that split push.
Yeah, they just need to focus on winning battles at this point. There's going to be a huge one here. Nubarak flanking as well as Illidan. Diablo immediately picking off Illidan. Hopefully they can target him down, but right now this Vala doing so much damage with the Strife coming in. Illidan's getting really low, does get picked off. Malfurion coming in with his heroic, not in time, but all in all, it looks like Boogie's going to clean this up. Can they pick off that Nova? They get the Diablo, and they're going to get the Brightwing. Nova just making out with a sliver of health, but great fight by Boogie once again, just very organized, making sure that they get everything lined up in time, and Illidan buying the time he needed for his team. Backline, doing damage. He does fall, but, you know, 1 member for 3 or 4, I'll take that any day as an Illidan.
Yeah, that is the ideal life, and it's very difficult because Asmodee wasn't ever there for the fight. He threw a single globe up, but I'm pretty sure that was his total contribution to that actual fight. He's very much a PvE push build, but it's not working out since they don't have the tempo on the map. If they were ahead, this would be ridiculous and steamrolling, but not the case right now.
Yeah, I feel like it's a situational kind of thing you can go for, but when behind, it doesn't work out, as you've been saying, and we're just seeing a lot of coins getting deposited and so many forts falling. I mean, on the red side, on the Boogie's side, they still have all 6 forts, and on Chaotic Knights, they've already lost 3. On top of that, they only have 3 kills. You know, 5 to 3, not that big of a deal. Add in the forts, it's a problem. The Zagara actually going to go down. Great pick. That they need more of that. Chaotic need to continue to pick, and Boogie countering with this, getting the boss on top. They are going to deposit, and they should get it, but at the same time, this boss is going to be a problem in that top lane.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's a nice to get the turn in. They did take out Zagara. This is what they need to do. It's catching them back up in experience a fair amount. And this bottom fort and middle fort will both end up going down, but they're going to have to respond to this boss because that top lane is already pushed. The fort is already gone. And we can see that at least Jaina is going back to defend.
Yeah, they might decide to take out this this bottom Bruiser camp, or they might decide just to all back. Either choice is fine, but they need to make sure that they are back by the time that ultimate boss gets to their top gate, because they cannot lose a keep. As soon as you lose that in-base keep, catapults are all of a sudden going to be pushing that lane to the end of time, and that's such a big problem.
Yeah, it's going to be tough, but Zagara is not here, so this push won't be as big as you might suspect. Tranquility has been used pretty early in this fight just to make sure that the Vala and the Illidan are rather healthy, and the Golem making it through that wall, that's more than enough, because the name of the game is turn in coins, turn in catapults. We can see they already have 9 coins. You don't want to throw them away.
Yeah, they want to hold on to that for sure, especially when they already have so many structures down. They want to continue to press that issue. They're going to continue to deposit as much as they can, even if they only have 3 coins, and just look for picks. Illidan has 3 himself, Malfurion has 0. He's looking to get this Nova again, being very on point, just spotting that Shimmer out. He's going to take a good amount of damage, but can you take an engagement level 14 to level 16? 16 being such a big spike for a team.
Well, Vala going to get those 5 in, and yeah, like you mentioned, they have that advantage. They're confident with the talent advantage. the double Hydralisk going in, and there is a Metamorphosis followed by the Strafe and Burrow Charge. The combo is there. Will the Apocalypse be enough to peel? It does hit 2 targets. Jaina backing out. Looks like she will survive, but Brightwing not so lucky.
Yeah, and neither is Diablo. Kind of a choice of who dies there. Jaina immediately sprinting and Diablo being kind of caught out. It's hard to say what you do from here. This Osmodon constantly trying to split push and doing what damage he can, but it's a really tough thing at this point. It looks like Zagara might actually die to her own maw almost. That was very interesting.
I was so worried. I was so worried for a second there. Wow, that was very close. Yeah, got body blocked in with the minions, taking that damage. The middle fort has fallen. Water Missile comes out, but not quite enough. That is the middle keep collapsing, and there is more than enough coins now available for the Boogie Knights.
Yeah, and they're just constantly taking down structures, and sooner or later they're going to be at the core, and that's when, if you lose one big team fight, you're just going to lose the game, and that's always a threatening issue. On the other side, Boogie Knights, if they lost the big team fight, of course that'd be not favorable, but they have so many forts to go through before they really can threaten the end game move.
Yeah, alright, well, turn-in about to happen. That will eliminate this top keep, leaving only this bottom keep, which is already being sieged up. Quite vulnerable. I gotta say, Boogie Knights, they're up 1-0, and they're making it look convincing in this series.
Yeah, and chess coming up once again. It's just been a game of objectives and a game of team fights. I mean, 9 kills to 4 kills, that's really not that bad. You can always come back, and the levels are pretty close. 16 to almost 18. Getting that power strike from 16 is going to be a big deal. They want to take a big engagement before Boogie Knights can get to 20. They need to come back, and they need to do that before 20. Of course, when you get those level 2 heroic abilities, it becomes that much harder, and you're going to have to wait until you match up to 22. But right now is their time to shine, and they're looking to do it, but they only have 3 members here. Brightwing just going to come in, but Osmodon's still top, and it's 3v5.
This Asmodon split push just isn't working for them. Yes, he's doing wondrous quantities of damage, but he's never there for the fights. Just sitting there casting that E, but it's not playing with his team. And 4v5 is you're never gonna win. Not with a level deficit.
Of course not. And I don't understand their plan. Or maybe it's gonna work out long term, but as of right now, it's really, really hard to see the big picture move of this. They're just taking so much damage. They lose a team fight. Every time they lose a team fight, they're losing more and more structures, and they're losing coins.
Alright, well, they are pushing into this bottom lane. We see the damage has gone down. The Beetle starting to soak up those shots, protecting these giants. And of course, Zagara can summon many more minions to apply that structural damage. This is the final structure protecting the core for the Chaotic Steel team and the Boogie Knights. They can taste the victory almost already.
Yeah, and that fort already below half HP. I mean, they can get one more deposit. It would almost be the end of the game as long as they can do a little push damage. This Osmodon still pushing top, actually doing a lot of damage. They're only 2 levels behind, and they've stuck at that level difference for a good amount of the game. But they need something more. They need to come back. And I feel like the Osmodon has to group up at some point if he wants to have this team come back in this game.
The split push has kept them in, like you've mentioned, yes. But I feel like if they were actually winning some more of these fights, they could get a little bit more of those coins turned in. And that's why they have 2 keeps down at this point in time. The double bruiser push is, again, it's buying the time of Zagara, but how much did it actually do at the end of the day? The wall is still standing, and the ammunition will regenerate.
Yeah, and that lane's going to push out, especially with catapults joining it, since they did lose their top keep. And that's the strength of being able to get those structures and getting these deposit. Illidan, once again, depositing 7. Zagara with 4. Will she get them in? Oh, not Zagara, sorry. Nubrak with 4. And Bala with 3.
While Shrink Ray has been used on Jaina, the Burrow Charge does end up connecting, but Persistent Strike is beautiful for peeling. We see the Malfurion does get very low and end up falling. Jaina in the back lane does get picked off. Doocy gonna fall on Brightwing, and the Illidan in there is just picking them apart. The Apocalypse is a little bit too late, and it's gonna be a full team wipe with only 2 falling for the Boogie Knights.
And there's just so many coins here, and as soon as they deposit this is going to be more damage. On top of that, we got the top lane, middle lane, and bottom lane already pushing for Boogie Knights. They could look to end this game out. As you can see, the death timers at the top left, about 30 seconds on average for all those heroes, and they still have 3 members. Illidan, big damage dealer. Zagara, big damage dealer. And Nubrak, not as much, but at this point, do you need that much to end the game?
I don't think so, HuK. I think This keep is going to fall very quickly, and they are marching in with those 3 remaining heroes. We can see the catapults. There are many remaining, and those shields are going to fall so quickly.
We still got 4 more shots to come down, and they're already on the court. Jaina's going to try to come up and do what she can, but Illidan just being able to flip over, finish the game out with 1 cannonball left. Really well played by Boogie Knights.
Yeah, I gotta hand it to him. That was some convincing play, but on Chaotic Steel, they had a good grasp of how to get back in the game. They were really playing passively, making sure they were soaking their lanes, collecting those coins. If the Azmodan rotated a little bit more proactively with the team to be involved in those team fights, would have helped them out quite a bit. But the split push did do some work.
Yeah, I feel like if he was there earlier in the game, they would have had a shot. I mean, he did do a good amount of damage when he was in that last fight. Just, level 18 to level 20. Diablo with a little bit late of a too much of an ult. All in all, just Boogie Knight being a little bit more coordinated.
Yeah, well, that would be the first match of the day, going 2-0 in favor of the Boogie Knights. They will advance up in the bracket. If you want to check out the bracket, just go to esl.gg/BlizzHeroesNA, or just type !bracket in the chat. I'm going to find Boogie Knights here really quickly on my computer. Where are they? Boogie Knights will advance to face Gaming Team Gaming.
Wow, what a! I love all these team names. So artistic is what I will say.
And we're about a half hour early for our next series, but we're still going to try to get it started as soon as possible. Getting in contact with the team pretty much immediately. Live in Lit Die is the first team. They're facing the Dinner Executives.
More of these great names. What can I say? And actually, Game Team Gaming having a few recognizable names. I don't know if you saw that. F8 Phoenix Conurol. I don't know how to say his ID, but I know that player, and Wraith as well. So having a good amount of high-level players. They're going to be a hard team to beat, I would say, for Boogie Knights.
It's the Dinner Excuse, not the Dinner Executives, but I kind of like the Dinner Executives better.
It sounded classier. Classier, for sure.
They have Caterpillar. There's a guy named Caterpillar, and I don't know if that's Caterpillar? Maybe they're related. But, yeah, guys, all right, well, we're going to get in touch with those teams so we can start the round of 64 match for you as soon as possible. Friend request? Maybe it's those teams.
Hopefully.
It is! Caterpillar! Sup, bro? All right, we're going to throw it a quick commercial break and get this set up for you. We'll be back in just